Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ishmael from Conjured Realm. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's very much spoken about in the LOA community, and that is everyone is you pushed out. I feel like once you understand this concept, things around you are able to move and shift better, quicker, faster. At least for me, when I understood this topic, I started to notice my thoughts a little more, and I started to notice the coincidences. So what is everyone is you pushed out? So everyone is you pushed out essentially means what it states. Everyone is you, just pushed out. Every thought that you have, every assumption that you might have about a situation, this can work on animals, this can work on people, this can work on like money. But let's just stay more into the topic of people. Okay, so let's say for example, you're going to a store. And in the store, you may have encountered someone who is always rude to you, who always has an attitude, and she, for some reason, shows up in your reality just like very bad vibes, right? Today is a brand new day, you're going to the store, let's say you're returning something, and she's always the one at customer service. So because your concept of her, and she is essentially you and the way you perceive her, she has to show up in that negative or rude type of attitude, because that thought that you have in your mind makes a vibration that pings out to her. Obviously, through this is kind of how we all know that we're all connected, but essentially that thought gets transmitted to her, it gets pinged out, and she receives it and has to act out and play out the script you just gave her. That's what it means when everyone is you pushed out. Or say for example, someone did something to you, and it could be like once or twice that they did it, and you start to make whatever that they did mean something, aka giving it an assumption. Now every time you meet that person, they constantly keep doing it because everyone is you pushed out. That's the script you gave that person. So now moving forward, that's how they have to show up in your world until you change it, or until you affirm for it to be different. Essentially, what I tend to do is I never try to give anything meaning, because first of all, nothing has any meaning. As people, we've given things meaning, what's good, what's bad, all these things. So I don't attach meaning to what people do as far as their behavior towards me. That's kind of one of my secrets to how I stay neutral in my everyday life. I never make anything mean, anything personal. I never want to give anything an assumption. Why? Because what we learned is whatever you assume things to be, they have to play out. Okay, so say you go to a coffee shop and you've only been there one time, and that one time you went, they messed up your order. Okay, for me, in my case, what I would do is I would just tell myself, okay, you know what? They just made a tiny mistake. Obviously, it's not gonna happen again to me. That's what I would tell myself. Because what happens is when you internalize what they did as like, oh my God, this place is just, they're constantly messing up my orders. I don't think I can come back because they messed up my last order. Whenever you come back to that place, they're going to continue to mess up your order, because you have already made that assumption that they have to mess up your order, or that they're going to mess up your order. Therefore, it has to play out that way. That's why it's very important when situations happen to you, you don't create any meaning, because everyone is you pushed out. They're going to have to play out that role. Now, I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect at it, because there are definitely relationships and friendships and like, you know, things like that in my life that are bad. I wouldn't say bad, but not the best because of my assumption about it. But honestly, at any time, if I wanted to change it, I could. It's just, for me personally, I don't care enough about those people to do so, if that makes sense. But anytime, if you have any negative relationships with anyone, or if you have a bad experience with someone, it doesn't have to stay negative all the time. You can absolutely change it at will whenever you want. Just change your perception of it. And what helps you change your perception of something, you know, that causes you resistance is affirming. You make an affirmation to that opposing thought, and eventually, once you say it enough times, you will start to notice the change of it. I've actually gotten really good at doing this, and that's how I've been honestly able to manifest a lot of the things, because this is what gets people. People cannot stop reacting to the 3D. And this is another video that I need to make. I think I'll make it tomorrow, but I'm just gonna explain it real quick. When you're manifesting anything, you cannot react to the 3D. Like I talked about in my other video, the 3D is everything around you, the birds, the trees, everything. That's your 3D, things you can see now in your outside world. That is the 3D. You cannot react. Why? Because the more you react, the more you essentially continuously manifest for that thing to stay in place. Say for instance, I'm changing the behavior of someone and I start affirming today. If by tomorrow they haven't shown up the way that I like them to, or let's just say anyone, the person that they've been affirming for in a day hasn't been changing how they've been acting, 9 times out of 10, if you're new, you're gonna start reacting in the way of like saying manifestation isn't real, law of assumption is fake, why isn't this working? Well, they haven't conformed yet, first of all. One thing is you have to give things enough time to conform, and then 2, sometimes depending on how much resistance you may have on things, they take a while to conform. But for it to completely conform, you have to ignore the old version of them as the new version catches up, as it updates. Think about it as a phone, how your phone is updating. What you're seeing currently in the 3D is the old version, and then the new version is catching up. Remember, your thoughts will always come first because your thoughts will be much faster. Up here, you'll already be in the mentality of your new reality, but your 3D has to catch up. It takes a little bit of time for it to update. So while it's updating, it's super important that you do not react to anything that's happening. So if you're affirming for someone to change a behavior or attitude or whatever, while they change, you cannot be reacting to their old behavior, because you're going to continuously be in the cycle and loop of them staying the same. Now, I hope that made sense, but I will continue to dive even deeper into these topics later on, continuously as my channel grows. But I hope that that information was very helpful to you guys. Please do it every day. Use it with anything, everything around you, and you will see the difference, because it's made a complete 360 in my life. Anyways, I hope that was very useful to you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Happy manifesting.